MRC coordinator, regional coordinator, and with me is Alyssa Lewis.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alyssa Lewis, and I'm the Greater Richmond Unit Coordinator.
And then monitoring the chat box is Chris Rainey. Would you like to introduce yourself, Chris? Or not, that's fine. He'll be running the chat box for us today.
Sorry, Kate, I just found the unmute button. I'm the unit coordinator for the Blue Ridge Medical Reserve Corps and Central Shenandoah Medical Reserve Corps. So thank you.
Great. Thank you all for being here. So we're going to talk about TRAIN. TRAIN is the Virginia Learning Management System, and it's designed to improve our health workforce and MRC competencies and to provide access to Virginia and national public health educational sources. It is a national website that anybody can use. And it's pretty neat to see all the different kinds of trainings that you can access. So you can use it for a few different things. You can pursue training that will allow you to be confident in your field. You can take trainings that interest you when you're available to take them. They're mostly online. You also can use TRAIN as a registration portal for in-person trainings as well. But the bulk of them are going to be online trainings. So you can take them in your pajamas on a Saturday morning if you want. You can also use it to complete training plans for specific teams that you might be on in your MRC unit. For example, the OCME support team, or as a vaccinator, you would take your vaccinator training plan and train. There are CEUs that are provided for some courses, but not all of them. So you would check with the individual course information to see if CEUs were provided for whichever course you were taking. You have access to your own training record, so you can go in and download your transcript at any time you might need it to share it with your unit coordinator or your job, or just to have it and be proud of all the trainings you took. You can get to train through your Vvhs account. And one very important message, don't create a new train account, and we'll talk about that later. So once your application is approved in Vvhs, you were made a TRAIN account within 24 hours, and then you received an email stating this is your TRAIN login name. You know, you can go in and this is how you can access your TRAIN account. If you ever have problems, reach out to your individual unit coordinator and they should be able to help you. So Vvhs and TRAIN are two different systems, but they are interconnected. So Vvhs is your volunteer home. That's where all of your information is stored, all of your deployments, your trainings, your contact information, any certifications that you might hold, that's all in your Vvhs profile. And this is what the front page of Vvhs looks like. TRAIN is the online learning system, and it has a completely separate login from your Vvhs login. When you get that initial email after you start your Vvhs account, it will tell you what your TRAIN login name is. And so that's the one that you will use moving forward for TRAIN, not your Vvhs. That's one kind of big question that we always get. Well, I keep trying to log into TRAIN and it's not working. And 90% of the time it's because they're trying to use their Vvhs login instead of your TRAIN login. So make sure that you make note of those, you keep them separate. So because Vvhs creates a TRAIN account for you, sometimes folks have more than one TRAIN account. These are mine. Don't be like me. Don't have 3 separate TRAIN accounts. You can tell the ones that were created by Vvhs because the login name starts with Vvhs. And then the one in the middle is one that I created when I started working for VDH. So you might you know, have trouble finding a training because, you know, the training plan was assigned to one train account, but you're actually logged into your other train account. So if you realize that you have more than one account, please reach out to your coordinator and then they can get them combined. Sometimes it happens if somebody's a VDH employee or another state employee that already had a train account and then they join the MRC, or opposite. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on that to make sure that you only have one account. So we're going to ask some polling questions throughout the training. So our first question is, what should you do if you have more than one train account? And you can throw your answers in the chat. Anyone? Chris, what are you seeing?
Yeah, everybody, sounds like most people are paying attention. They're saying to contact their unit coordinator. And I'm going to go find the link to the page on the VIMRC site to show you how to find who your unit coordinator is and their contact information. So I'll paste that in the chat.
That's great. Thank you. Great. Everyone's paying attention this early morning. Okay, so Alyssa is going to take it from here.
Good morning, everybody. So we're just going to kind of do a basic step-by-step going through train. So what you see on the screen now is an email that everyone receives when your account has been created. Typically happens about 24 to maybe 48 hours after you apply into Vvhs. So it'll send you an automated email with your Vvh or your train login in the email for train. So I'm going to bear with me while I share my screen here. All right. So as you know, this is Vvhs. This is the login for Vvhs. When you log in, your screen will look something like this. You may have more writing here in the middle. To find the quickest way to and easiest way to get to train and for your train username is if you see on the right hand side, you see my account or my account down here. Either one of those you can click, of course. Bear with me, I got logged out. Okay, here we go. So again, click on my account and it'll take you to your account. You'll see all the tabs across the top. You'll find training, click on training. Here you'll see your train login name. So if you ever forget it, just log into your Vvhs account. And like Kate said, Vvhs username is different from your train login name. But if you ever forget your login name for train, it is on your Vvhs account right here. There's a link right next to the right of that, log into train VA. Pretty simple, pretty easy. So that will load. If this is your first time logging into train, what you need to do is click on can't log in. They'll lead you to this site where you can enter your email that is associated with your Vvhs account. So once you do that, it will send you an email that looks like this. It'll be an automated email that goes to your email address that says, here's your username, here's a link to change your password. So you'll click on that, you'll be able to update your password for the first time, or if you can't remember your password later, that's how you recover your train password. So you'll log in here. Oops. Again, not the same as Vvhs. So go here, copy your train into your password. And here you are into train. if this is your first time logging into Train, there are going to be a few things that you'll need to do. This will be the first screen that'll pop up. It's about liability terms, just policies, read this, press the acknowledgement, and then you'll be able to move on to the next. You'll want to update your profile. So up here at the top, you'll see your name. In this case, it's my cat's name. But you go to your profile, and it will actually look like this. You'll see a series of red exclamation points. These are all the things that need to be updated before you can register for register for a class. So I've had to do this previously. So you just go in, update your contact information, address. When you get to organization, you can put Virginia Department of Health, Medical Reserve Corps, volunteer, your professional role, work settings. But the number one thing that you need to do is under account, you'll need to allow MRC Train to send you notifications via email. And the reason for this is that if there are updates to a training that you are attending or certificates that you've had, they will be emailed to you. So you need to make sure that you allow MRC Train to send you notifications via email. So once you've updated everything, you must press save, top right corner. So I'll have to verify my account. Hopefully I can move on with this without doing that. Exit out, you press train or cancel. So next thing is searching for a course. So most of the time as unit coordinators, when we ask you to complete a course, we'll give you the course ID number. That's the best way to search for the exact course you are looking for. If you're looking for something to take in your free time and you can just put in a few keywords, it'll bring up a list of courses. For the purpose of this training, we have created a short course that everyone can attend. We'll watch it all together. It's just a few minutes long. So what you would do is you just type in the course ID number and press search. And again, with the course ID number, it really narrows down the search to the exact training that you need to take. So what you do is you click on the training and they'll have a launch. Sometimes it says register, but it's the green button that you want to do. We're going to click on launch. It'll open up a new screen, so make sure that your pop-up blockers aren't blocking it. All right, so we're just going to watch this video about Train.
Get ready to simplify your online learning experience with the new and enhanced Train Learning Network. Train's all-new responsive interface gives you quick access to announcements, your recent courses, your training status, and offers you a suggested lineup of courses you may like based on your transcript. You can create or modify your account, search for courses, register, launch, and manage your training, and receive notifications that keep you on top of your learning. The improved search feature allows you to quickly browse courses, browse your training plans, and browse training events in the course catalog. And building on the access you have to Train's ever-growing library of learning opportunities, you can now use your smartphone or tablet to experience Train virtually anywhere at any time. John wants to enroll in a live training event. With the enhanced Your Learning feature, he can search for the event, register, choose his preferred credit type, and receive a notification of his enrollment once he has completed the brief online registration process. In just a few minutes, John has registered for training, and he's now back to fulfilling other tasks that make up his workday. Mary wants to take a brief online course while she enjoys her lunch. With Train's enhanced course catalog, she is able to browse for training based on subject, keywords, or competencies and capabilities. She can also review course ratings to gain a perspective of other learners' experiences with specific course offerings. With Train, Mary is able to lunch and learn at her own convenience. Get the most out of your learning experience with the new and enhanced Train Learning Network, powered by the Public Health Foundation.
All right, so once you've completed a course, one of the most important things is just to exit out of the tab for the course. This will automatically, as you can see, update the Train where you registered, the page where you registered. This is an opportunity that you can review the course if you would like. Not a requirement, but it is great for feedback. in order to complete a course, there might be different things that you need to do. For example, this course, we have to take an evaluation. Some may say take a quiz, some may just be, to mark it complete. But for this one, we'll have to take the evaluation. It's just, this one's short, so we'll just go through it together. So we're going to give it all 5s because it was an excellent course. It was quick. Now, be honest with your reviews, of course, when you're reviewing our courses. Bear with me. Thank you all. We're just going to put in a few. Just do this so we can show you. Great. So now that it's finished, you can hit the red close button at the top. Again, it'll give you another chance to review the course, and then your screen will change to show history, print certificate. Now, some courses don't always come with certificates, some do, and so where you can find how to access, there's a cool little tab called Your Learning. So if you click on Your Learning, you'll see any current classes that you are registered in that maybe you haven't completed. So if you are saving one for later, because there is a tab when you go to a course, they'll say save for later. This is where you can find those courses. Your certificates right here. So again, I can click on this course and it'll take me back to that screen where I can print my certificate and send to keep on hand. You can send it to your coordinator. You can also download your transcript. So any courses that you've completed, and if it was a quiz, it'll have the score. You can click on the download transcript button, and then you can save it for yourself. You can send it to your coordinator or whoever else you might need to send. Now, there are, Kate mentioned training plans. So, for example, vaccination training plans. So if you are qualified to be a vaccinator, you may already have this assigned to you. Your unit coordinators or our state MRC can assign training plans to volunteers, or you can add one to your training as well. And this is where you would find that. So a training plan, you click on this, and then it would show you a list of the courses that you would need to take to complete that. So it's again, your MRC coordinator can assign that to you, or you can add training plans on your own by searching, again, with that course ID. I think that is all for that. We have a polling question now. Kate, if you will share that slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I can't remember what it is.
Oh, I went to the wrong. Sorry. Here we go. Where do you find your certificates for completed courses? Chris, what are you seeing?
Yeah, most people are answering under the Your Learning tab of Train.
Great. I do not believe that the username can be changed. I think Adrenia might know more about that. I don't think you can, though.
I think it can be, actually.
Uh-oh.
Not to talk out of turn, but I think that it can be. It's just that most people don't bother to do it. And I don't know if the access to changing usernames is limited to just the unit coordinator or super users, but I think it can be done. I don't know what Adrenia would have to say about that, though.
Yes, I would say if someone wants to change their username, just contact your unit coordinator and they will contact me and we will see what we can do. We work with the train manager for VDH and see can we update that information. So contact your unit coordinator first.
Great. Were there any other questions about those two sections of the training?
Actually, yeah, Kate. So Patricia asked, will we receive an email that prompts us to evaluate the course? And I wanted to just say that you do have to opt in to receive emails from Train. So, making sure that that option is selected on your user profile is important. I think it depends on the course, but I'm not 100% sure if you'll always receive an email to evaluate your course after you've completed it.
So Charlene, it's not totally random because the first four letters are Vvhs, which indicates that your train account has been started through Vvhs. So it was one that was created when you became an MRC volunteer. Are there more questions? Looks like. Is it your? Go ahead.
I did have somebody asked a question pretty early in the presentation, and I don't know if it's too early to ask or if we wanted to save it for the end, but it was if you previously worked for VDH either as like staff or contractor, and your contract ended, or you've left the organization, but you have registered as an MRC volunteer, is there a way to combine your MRC created train account with your old train account? And how does that work with regard to course completions like vaccinator training being, carried over to your MRC account?
I think I don't, as far as unless I'm incorrect, Adrenia, I don't think that they purge train when people don't work for VDH anymore. So that account would still exist and it could still be combined with your MRC account.
Yes, just contact your unit coordinator and they will contact me and we will work again with the training manager of VDH to try to merge your accounts and get the trainings all onto the one current account. Most of the responses is contact your unit coordinator. So when in doubt, that's who you contact and they will contact us.
Yeah,
I've
and
got
then
another question.
Is it your learning where you see courses you plan to take? Also, I think, if you put in like save for later, it'll also be in there.
Yeah, or in progress courses. Because some of the ICS courses obviously take, several chapters to complete.
I also forgot to mention about verifications. I'm sorry. I did forget. Some courses will be automatically verified as soon as you complete it. Others will have to be verified by the creator of the course, the person in there. So they would have to go in and verify that you've completed it. So those are two ways to have your course verified.
So that answers the what does completed not verified. Sally, we see you in the chat. So if one moves to another state, the records can be merged. Are you talking about changing MRC units, like from a Virginia unit to a West Virginia unit, or just in general?
Kate, I think the person was asking about if you are a trained Virginia user and you move to another state, would your records be transferable to another state's train platform? That is a good question, because I know that there is a train, sort of like train.org, that is not Virginia specific. I'm not 100% sure about what that process looks like to get your Train Virginia records transferred over, but I would probably contact the administrator for train.org if that is your situation.
And it should be transferable. It is one learning management system under the public health. So it's not
Melissa,
specific
can you-
to Virginia.
Yeah, it's national. It's national. Alyssa, can you drop the course ID number for the course that you just took into the chat?
Somebody asked a question about missing the beginning part of the presentation about how to create a train account. And I think that's an important thing to address, especially if somebody missed the beginning of the presentation. Just that, when you register as an MRC volunteer, the system automatically creates a train account for you that is connected to your profile as an MRC volunteer in the Virginia Volunteer Health System, Vvhs, which is the alerting system we use. So it's a separate account, but it's connected to your MRC volunteer account. And so we recommend that people do not create a new account themselves, because that will have to just end up being merged with your account that's automatically created. Anybody want to add anything to that?
Oh, I think that's perfect. Great. So what should you take? What should you take? Sorry?
One thing, I don't want to sideline us, but have we covered, or are we going to cover the process of when your account is automatically created, how to go to Train and create your password for your account and log in for the first time? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, Alyssa did that in the beginning. So what should you take versus what do you have to take? So I suggest you follow your unit's training plan. Most units training plans are similar, but not maybe identical. But that's a good sort of first place to start. And then also for specific roles. So if you are qualified to be a vaccinator and would like to be a vaccinator, then you would take the vaccinator training plan. Or if you would like to join the OCME support team, you would follow the OCME support team training plan. Or just whatever you're interested, go into Train and type in, some crazy keywords and see what you get. And then we also have additional training found on our MRC virtual training calendar. So there's some other suggestions for trainings for you to take there. So some things that we do recommend, as when you first join and you attend orientation, you're a level 3 MRC volunteer, not required to move up in levels. But if you were interested in moving up to a level 2, it would also require that you take IS 100 and IS 700, personal preparedness and disaster behavioral health. To move up to level 1, it would be 200, 800, and then participating in exercise and leadership positions. And there are also Virginia and national MRC competencies. So the Virginia competencies, if you go into your Vvhs account and click on the training tab, you can see all of the trainings that have been pulled into your Vvhs account. And then also kind of in the top middle portion of that page, there's a place that says competencies, and then when those competencies were completed. So for Virginia, it's bloodborne pathogens, blood pressure measurement, certified VDH vaccinator, epi investigation, incident command system, mass dispensing, mental health preparedness, NIMS, personal preparedness, and shelter operations. Now, none of these are mandatory. This is just to give you an idea about sort of being a well-rounded MRC volunteer. Of course, not everybody's going to take the blood pressure measurement. Not everybody's going to be a certified VDH vaccinator. And then the national MRC organization also has some suggested core competencies. And these are actually a little bit more in-depth and detailed. Again, these are not mandatory whatsoever. But again, it just gives you, it just sort of makes a well-rounded, prepared, ready to respond MRC volunteer. So the national competencies are personal and family preparedness, safe behaviors, in the response category, what the different volunteer roles could be, how to communicate effectively, surge capacity response, clinical management, situational awareness in the leadership section, public health for all populations, community resilience, ethics, legal principles, recovery considerations. And then on the right-hand side, you can see it's broken down even more. So for the leadership section, it's, demonstrate situational awareness of actual potential health hazards. This is a document that your unit coordinator has access to. So if it's something that you are interested in pursuing, there is also an MRC train that is a national sort of piece of this. And so a lot of these trainings are held in there, but it's not something that you have to register separately for. So some courses that you take through train or outside of train require a FEMA student identification number. This is what the front page of that, where you would request that, where you would either log in, how to re-get it if you forgot it, or to register for it. And also, if you go into Vvhs, that page that Alyssa showed you at the beginning, where you can link to train, directly underneath the train link is a link for you to request the FEMA student identification number. And I will also say that some of the trainings will take you, when you're in train, some of the trainings will take you out to another learning system or a web page. Just be prepared for that. It's not anything crazy. It just, sometimes that's what happens. So another question is, are Train and Vvhs the same platform? Drop your answers in the chat. Nope.
Okay, so everybody's pretty much answering no, they're separate platforms. And again, the two systems can talk to each other if you make sure that you use the login that is created to connect with your Vvhs account. And if there's a problem and you're not seeing your completed training show up in Vvhs, contact your unit coordinator, and we can work with Adrenia and make sure that usually what happens is your email address in Vvhs is different from the email address that you're using in your train profile. And so we need to make sure that those are the same. And then Kate, we did have a question that somebody asked about FEMA user IDs, FEMA student IDs numbers. So Deborah asked if you have a FEMA student ID number, does that ever expire?
I don't think so.
I believe that it doesn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
Yeah, I do not think it does. I did want to show the the training page on Vvhs so you can see again the different. So are there other questions?
I did also catch another question that was just related to this presentation. And I wanted to make sure we were clear. Are the slides going to be available for download along with the recording of this presentation, or is it just going to be the recording?
I think we can post the slides on the training page.
Okay, great. Another person asked, Joyce asked, will I be prompted as I have been in the past to update my training? It's been a good thing. I think that's kind of an open-ended answer because, again, it depends on, the state, the VA MRC training calendar, which Adrenia has posted the link to that page a few times in the chat. You can always check that to see what the most up-to-date training is. But I will also say that, one thing I've noticed in the last couple of years, especially with COVID-19 vaccinator training, is that the recommended and required training for different roles related to vaccinations is going to continue to update. And you always see this with seasonal flu vaccines as well. So, it's one of those things where you might get prompted through Vvhs, through an alert, to say, hey, we need all of our volunteers to complete this training if they want to be COVID vaccinators, or if they want to, provide this specific vaccine, or, serve in this other role. But it's only going to happen as quickly as we're able to recognize those training updates. So it's not always going to be automated.
Yeah, so this question about some organizations with train ask for wholly separate registration with them, that is a thing that happens. So if you were to go through train to take a FEMA course, then you would have to also use your, FEMA ID to take that course. So there are other organizations that have trainings listed in train that you would need to register.
The other one, Kate, for an example, is the psychological first aid. That's through a college, I believe. So you do need to establish a user and password for them.
Alyssa, can you share Goose's training page? Because mine, I don't have any trainings in the Vvhs. So it would not be helpful.
Goose also doesn't have any trainings.
Right, but you can at least see.
Right, so when you
log into train, send request to change your MRC unit, submit request for a FEMA student ID. And then I'm assuming the find more information on volunteer training takes you to the MRC virtual training page.
Hold on. There we go. So it takes you to this training page.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. And then any training that you have completed through Train will show up on your training tab on your Vvhs account down at the bottom. It'll say training history. So anytime you complete a course in Train, it theoretically will be down there.
And then that's that competencies list I was talking about earlier.
Mhm.
And those don't automatically populate. So even if you have bloodborne pathogens in your training at the bottom, your coordinator would actually have to go in and add the date that you completed that in the competencies.
So I know someone asked about if they change unit. So if you say Goose here moved from Henrico to Chesterfield, and Chesterfield is a separate unit, Goose could go in and send requests to change MRC unit. So that will. So I hope that answers that question. So if you do switch.
Alyssa, can you, can you show them how to upload certificates as well? Because sometimes volunteers will already have taken a training in the past.
Yeah, so back on your training tab, under training certificates, there's a little edit button. So you can click on edit and you can upload your certificate yourself. So you get from Train, we showed you that download your certificate. You can download that. And then again, under your training tab on Vvhs, I'll do that again. You'll see training certificates. You can click edit and then select file and find that training certificate that you downloaded. And you can upload it yourself, or you can send it to your unit coordinator if you're more comfortable having them upload it. But you can upload those yourself to there so we can have that in your account.
All right, what else is going on in the chat, Chris?
Okay. So Charlene Strickland asked, where is it again? Sorry, I'm just trying to find it. How to find recommendations of what classes to take. And I was just going to, well, yeah, Sodrina already posted it. Look for the link that says MRC training opportunities, vh.virginia.gov/MRC/training. If your local unit coordinator does not already have specific recommendations for you. And then let's see, Tanya Heron said there is a box in the Vvhs account profile to set bureau/section. What should be added there? That is a really good question. So that's the train account profile, I believe. I don't think that we asked for that in the Vvhs account setup. So again, that would be, I would just put your local MRC unit name or the health district that it's affiliated with, and note that you're an MRC volunteer.
Yeah, I think, Alyssa, do you have screenshots of that? So it's, we talked this out the other day. It's Virginia Department of Health, Medical Reserve Corps, volunteer. Yep. So organization name, Virginia Department of Health, Department Division, Medical Reserve Corps, and then title is volunteer.
Yeah, and you don't actually have to fill that out because you only have to complete the sections that have that red line next to them. Those are the required sections. So where it says bureau/section, you don't actually have to even fill that out.
Right.
Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Andrew K. Stiff wanted to ask a question. Andrew, if you could just please type your question into the chat, that would make it a lot easier for us to address that. And then let's see, Hillary Hosang asked me privately, if I take a course on the CDC site, how do I get it to show on Train that I've done the course? That's actually a really good question, because there are some courses that maybe, you know, are applicable to MRC volunteer roles that maybe are not available as Train courses, but you can find them on the CDC page or another website. I believe there is a section of your learning that allows you to upload a previously completed course certificate, and basically you create the entry for the course with the name of the course and the date that you completed it, and then you upload your certificate to it. So, and if your course that you completed on the CDC site does not provide you with a certificate, what I would do is probably, you know, do something like take a screenshot of the, you know, the last page of the course or something like that that shows that you completed it. And, you know, failing that, simply, you know, email that screenshot to your unit coordinator. So I don't know, Adrenia, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. They can take a screenshot, they can upload it themselves, contact the unit coordinators, and if there still is a problem getting that training transferred over, feel free to get the excuse me, the unit coordinator will contact me or the train manager. I will say that it's important that you make sure that you complete all of the steps in the course. As Alyssa was mentioning, some courses will automatically verify that you've completed them totally if you complete all the steps. So what you want to do when you first get into the course, read the course description. Most of the course descriptions will tell you majority of everything that you have questions about, whether there's additional steps you need to take to complete the course, whether there's CEUs available and what you need to do for that. It will depend on who set up the course, and you can look under contact and you can see, excuse me, who that person is, and you can contact them. A lot of the MRC courses, I've set a lot of them up, so you can feel free to contact me or your unit coordinator, and we can find out what the problem is. But please make sure that you follow all the steps to the end of the course to make sure that you can get verified, completed, and they will transfer over to Vvhs most of the time.
Okay. Let's see what else is there. So the train completed certificates don't automatically go to Vvhs, but it will show that you completed the course in Vvhs. So the actual that you completed the training will be in Vvhs, but your certificate will only be in Train. I'm 90% sure that's true.
Sulan asked, is there a way to search specifically for courses that offer CEUs? And I'm not 100% sure. I know that there is a way to search for courses using a keyword search on the main Train page. The advanced search options might allow for you know, looking for courses that award CEUs, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Kate, I don't know if we can are we able to take a look at the search interface?
Yeah.
Also, I don't want to get us off track on time.
We got time. Okay. So sort by, let's see, courses. So you can
And
also
check
on the left,
filters.
you can sort by who's offering the course, what the format of the course is. Subject. Common filters. Certificate of it. You can do certificate available. Oh, credit type.
Credit type. Mhm.
Yep. Yep. There's all the different Board of Internal Medicine, academic credit. Dental Association. Contact hours, continuing nursing education. There you go. And then you can advanced, even more advanced search. Cool. Okay, anything else in the chat?
A couple of people have asked if this presentation is going to be posted as a train course with a train course ID and all that. And I don't know if we're going to just post this as a recording to the MRC training calendar, perhaps, or if it's also going to be logged in train.
Don't judge me for my tabs.
I plan to post them in both places. So this is Adrenia. I will post them, post this course with the slides on the training calendar page, where we normally put the most up-to-date training recordings at. And then I will also post it in train as well.
I did see that. Is there a training course on using the computer portal used in the COVID vaccination clinic? Is that, I think different places use different ones, right?
So this is a really good question. And there are a few experiences that I've had as an MRC unit coordinator that definitely highlight the importance of this question. So the platform that my units are currently using is called Vvhs. And I believe that they have training modules available that are linked from the Vvhs website, but I don't know for a fact if they are available on train.org. So a lot of times you will need to work directly with your local unit coordinator, and they should connect you with the person who's managing training of their MRC vaccinators on accessing that system, Vvhs, or whatever system your local unit is using, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris, since you're on that, can you just mention a little bit quickly about the just-in-time training that you may receive when you're deployed?
Yes, Adrenia, are you speaking specifically about for vaccinators for the
No, and just in
using-
general, as a comparison to
okay.
the courses that are listed, versus
sure.
something you may need if you get deployed.
Right. So this is Adrenia brings up an important topic in emergency preparedness and response and the MRC specifically as well. A lot of times, we are preparing volunteers and staff to, perform roles that they don't typically perform in a non-emergency or non-disaster situation. And sometimes that has to be done, sooner than we can produce somebody can produce a polished training module that would be posted to Train or another website. So, sometimes we have to do just-in-time training. So if you ever see the acronym JIT or JITT, that stands for just-in-time training, which, basically means somebody will show you what you'll need to be doing and how to do it, just before you start working your shift in that role, or maybe the day before. But generally it will be a stripped down sort of version of what you need to know. So for something like navigating a platform like Vvhs Plus for, registering people for vaccinations, you might learn by just being shown around the platform and guided through your account setup as a vaccinator or as a registration person. So Adrenia, I hope that kind of is a good summary of what we mean when we talk about just-in-time training.
Yep, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Alyssa, can you drop the training calendar page in again? Michelle, this will be posted on this page that Alyssa is dropping on there right now. And then what? Go ahead.
Michelle asked, oh wait, Kate, I don't know if you just answered this or not, but Michelle asked about if these links are going to be shared with the email addresses that we have for people.
So they'll all be posted on this training calendar page.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened to Andrew's answering questions or asking questions? What happened with that? Okay. Any last questions? Yes, we will. So really, Omar, to be a volunteer, to be a deployable volunteer, all you have to take is the orientation, which you've taken or you wouldn't have gotten access to this training today. But if you want to, join a specific team or take specific training. So if you wanted to be, if you wanted to join the OCME support team, then you would need to take that training plan, which is just 3 trainings. You were qualified to be a vaccinator and you wanted to be a vaccinator, then you would have to take the vaccinator training plan. So it really all depends. And some units do require more trainings than others. So I feel like the answer to 65% of the questions today were check with your unit coordinator, but that really is going to be your best resource to find out what they are requiring of you. So speaking of getting credit for courses, in order to get credit for today's course, you are going to need to fill out the attendance form at the link that I just dropped in the chat. Choose train refresher. And the secret phrase that they're going to ask you for at the end of the end of the form is train rocks. If you have any problems filling out the form, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. My email address is in the alert that you received about today. But I'm also going to put my email address in the chat.
And I think Andrew is still trying to ask a question. Andrew, you could put your question in the chat. All the lines are muted. Or you can contact Kate or myself. And Kate, can you repeat the secret phrase?
Sure.
And for those on the phone,
excuse
and the
me,
link.
Train rocks, and the link. Yeah, it's the very last course on the form, and it just says train refresher. Oh. Hang on, don't follow that link. Follow this other link I'm getting ready to put back in there.